All right, welcome. Hey, yesterday I got this in the mail. This is my Thunderbolt 10 gigabits per second Ethernet adapter, so I should be able to transfer data quite fast to my Synology server. So let's see the current status of my network. So right now I'm using a utility called iPerf3 to transfer information, data from the RAM of the Mac Mini to the Synology, and it shows that the network speed is, zoom in here, 2.35 megabits per second. So let's do it in the other direction. From the Synology to the Mac Mini, and we are also transferring at 2.3 gigabits per second. So the Mac Mini Ethernet adapter is only 1 gigabit, but I'm able to get 2.5 because I'm using a CalDigit TS4 Thunderbolt dock with a integrated 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet adapter. So let's go ahead and plug this in and see if it makes a huge difference.
A few moments later.
All right, I plugged it in. The moment of truth. Transferring data from the Mac Mini to the Synology. Here we go. So we're looking at 7.5 gigabits per second. Okay, a little disappointing, but let's try in the reverse direction. Now that's what I expected, 9.4 gigabits per second from the Synology to the Mac Mini, but only about 7.5 to the Synology. I mean, still a threefold improvement previously, but seems a little bit slower than it should be. Let me try it one more time. Doubt it'll change. Oh, well, look at that. Huh. Still averaging, it actually went up a bit, but it really shouldn't change any. But we're looking at 7, so it's something I gotta look into to find out why it's a little bit on the slow side. But still, 300% increase, so I'm happy with that. Later.
A few moments later.
So, I'm making this video because I'm so impressed with Gemini AI. I asked Gemini, hey, I asked you a question a while back about expected network speeds with this 10 gigabits per second adapter. What do you think I'm going to get? And it remembers, it stores previous queries. So it said I would transfer data to the Synology 400 to 700 megabytes per second. And my real world test for moving a 20 gigabyte file was 576 megabytes per second, so it nailed it. And then to write or to transfer the other direction from the Synology to the Mac, it predicted 600 to 900 megabytes per second, and my actual speed was 1 gigabyte per second. So it actually exceeded the prediction. So also get this, you know, I was a little bit concerned with my iPerf test with the Synology as the server, so I asked Gemini AI. I did a network speed test from my Mac Mini M2 Pro to my Synology DS1819 Plus. The speed tests are not symmetric. Using iPerf3, the test results with the speed test as the Mac Mini of the server was 9.5 gigabits per second, but only 7.36 gigabytes per second with the Synology as the server. Okay, why? And within half a second, I got a response, okay? And the response is very detailed. But let's just go to the summary. The summary, Gemini says, getting 7.36 gigabits per second with the Synology acting as a server is actually quite normal for an Intel Atom C3538 base NAS server under an iPerf 3 load. Indicates that your 10 gigabits per second Ethernet network switch link and adapter are fundamentally working correctly, but the CPU on the NAS is simply reaching its processing ceiling when forced to handle bidirectional packets generating at those high speeds. Is that amazing? Wow, you know, in the past I would have to do Google searches and go on forums and just go at web page after web page after web page to find this information. So not only did I get the answer, okay, why? And it turns out it's because my NAS has a very weak processor. It can't process those packets, whereas the Mac Mini can. No issues there. But it also gave me a summary and said, hey, that's normal. That's all you're going to get. So I'm pretty happy. To move a 20 gigabyte file from my Mac to my NAS took 40 seconds. The other way around took 20 seconds. So I'm happy. Anyways, I'm impressed with AI. I can't tell you. The more you play with it, the more impressed you are. Later.